Let's start off on your back on your mat, and we'll start off doing some toe touches or marching. You'll start off right and left, still driving your navel down into the mat. You want to keep your shoulder blades lifted as high away from the floor as you possibly can. So if it helps, you can use your hands to cradle your neck and then peel them up just a little bit higher. And you'll start to feel this in the area in between your hip bone and your navel, so that lower core area, one side at a time. Make sure you're breathing. Exhale, toe taps down, inhale back to center, and exhale, toe taps down, and then take a break. Release, big breath in. So continuing to work on one side of the body, you'll take your left arm up overhead and try to touch your shin as you crunch up. Use your opposite hand to support your neck. So we're lifting the same arm as leg that's coming towards that arm. If you'd like to make this more challenging, try straightening that leg, reaching for your shin or your toes. But don't let your heel touch the ground. Let it hover as you come down. Exhale, come up, and inhale, release. Switching sides, using your opposite arm to cradle your neck if you need the support. Still keeping the opposite leg grounded into the floor. One side at a time. Maybe try the straight arm variation, reaching for the shin. And try a few more if you can with a straight leg. If this bothers your hamstring, then just go ahead and bend your knee. Both shoulder blades still come up. Exhale, touch, and inhale, come down. And relax. Give yourself a little release. And then preparing for bicycles. We'll start on one side at a time. So right elbow to left knee as the opposite leg straightens out. If you can get it to hover away from the floor, that's great. If not, then you can just go ahead and keep the toe connected to the mat. So now we're really trying to twist and turn towards the opposite side. See if you can engage your core so much that maybe both shoulder blades will leave the mat for a moment. I'm going to try to do 10 of these on each side. And switching sides. Once again, if this is really challenging to straighten the leg and let it hover, just go ahead and place your foot on the mat, but still twisting. So still pulling the left shoulder blade away from the floor, trying to get the elbow to touch the right knee. Maybe both shoulder blades will come away from the floor. Exhale, elbow to knee, and inhale, both knees come back together. Exhale, and then inhale. And then we're going to alternate left and right. So a little bit more tempo with this. It's an exhale, inhale back to center, and exhale, elbow to knee. Find that boat position again. If you have a block handy, you can use that for your Russian twist here. So we're going to exhale over to the side, inhale center, and exhale over to the other side. The further back you lean, the harder this will be. So maybe start a little bit closer and then test it as you move. Now, if this is too easy, you can lift both feet away from the floor, or you can try to straighten your legs once they're off the floor. That's a little bit harder. Find your balance. Still use your glutes while you're here. Wrap your leg muscles around your femurs. And then go ahead and set the block down. Take a butterfly stretch to release your lower back and your hip flexors. Grab that block again. This time we're going to pulse back 10 times. So really tucking and curling underneath, still drawing the navel into the spine. Try to squeeze your inner thighs together here. Inhale up, exhale back. 2 and 1. And pick up that block again. This time we're going to reach the block up and overhead. So lean back like you did before. Navel into spine, lower ribs pulled in. Inhale, forward, exhale, lift. Arms by ears. Try to do 8 to 10 of these. If you need help, trap your feet under the couch, but really try to squeeze those leg muscles. Next, we're going to peel open. So open arm twist, similar to the Russian twist, but you will feel this not only in your obliques, but also in your serratus muscles, sort of underneath your armpits and your lats, and a little bit of a chest opening here. So really think of trying to touch your armpit with your hand as you reach back and then extend. This is really easy. Try lifting your feet away from the floor. Still draw your navel into your spine. Inhale to center, exhale, open arm twist. Inhale, center, exhale, open arm twist, straight back. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Keep twisting. See if we can do 10 of these on each side. And we're gonna nice and easy, feet to floor, roll down. So we're starting that first roll up. These are really challenging. If you need help, you can put your feet under the couch or have a friend, hold your ankles down, but try a few without that. Exhales will take you on up. This is where the work happens. It's harder to come up. Tuck your chin into your chest. Inhales, take it down. Wrap your leg muscles around your femurs, navel into spine, tuck, 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 ribs down into the floor, and reach up overhead. Breathe in here. And exhale, pull, chin to chest. Pull the lower ribs in, roly-poly. And next, some hip bridges. So heels close to your butt so that your fingertips could touch them. Then you're gonna bend your elbows and reach your fingertips to the floor. Push down into the backs of your arms as you lead with your pelvis. So close the lower ribs, and you're gonna scoop your tailbone towards your face as you press through your heels to lift your glutes up. It may feel like you just can't go as high as you normally do. That's okay. We're trying to use the glutes to lift the pelvis rather than the lower back muscles. We're gonna try to do 10 of these. Very small movement, pushing through the heels, squeezing the glutes, and you should feel that there's a straight line coming from your knee all the way down to your shoulder. And hold this last one up here. Ground down to your right foot. Take your left knee into your chest. Point your foot to the ceiling as you release. Take a breath in, and we're going to press back up to a single leg hip bridge. Stretch your foot forward, back to the sky, and release. Exhale, push. Inhale forward, and release. So we're going to try to do 7 to 8 of these on each side. It also may feel the same, that you can't go as high as you really want to, but that's okay. What's most important is the leg that's coming forward, that hip stays level with the other hip that's pressing through the floor. And switching sides, so we'll point the right foot to the ceiling, hip bridge, press through the left heel, extend the right leg out, and back down. Push through, extend, point to the ceiling, and release. So once again, it may feel like you want to go higher, but you can't. That's okay. We're really looking to activate the left glute by pushing down. And we're also looking to really challenge the balance here, trying to keep the hips square so that the right hip bone doesn't tip over to the side. If you start to feel that, readjust. Let's do a little piriformis hip stretch. Left shin over the right shin over the left. If you can't feel this, then try just drawing your knees in closer to your chest. And then we're going to rock up. So same hip bridge position. We're going to use a slider here. If you don't have a slider, you can use like a towel on your floor. The slider will go under the left foot, elbows pushing down into the floor again. Same hip bridge as before, this time sliding the heel out as it stays connected to the floor. These are a little bit harder. What you want to feel working here is your hamstring is contracting as you try to slide your heel back in towards your glutes. I'm going to try to do 8 to 10 of these. Very, very hard. It looks easy, but it is not. Notice as you stretch your heel out if your left hip tries to dip down towards the floor. So it may mean that you just don't straighten your knee when you do these. That's okay. Go as far as you can until you start to feel your hip dropping or losing the engagement in the glute. That's what we're looking for. The right glute engages and pushes down to support the weight of the pelvis, and the left heel slides in to contract the hamstring. Take a little release, little hamstring stretch. And when you're ready, we'll take that over to the other side. Roll it on up and switch it out. So same thing, slider or towel underneath the right heel this time. Elbows drive down into the floor to give you stability. And when you're ready, you're going to lead with the pubic bone, the pelvis, to hold the hip bridge. Push down to the left heel. Slide the right heel back in. And exhale, slide it out. Inhale, back to center. If you aren't sure if your hips are tilting, it can be kind of hard to focus on that because you're thinking about the leg that's sliding out. Use your fingertips to create a frame, and if you feel that your hip is no longer touching your fingertips, then readjust. Push the right hip back up into the fingertips. Inhale, and exhale, slide. Shooting for 8 to 10 of these on each leg. Always feel free to do more rounds of these if you want. I recommend 3 rounds of 8 to 10. And go ahead, release. Once again, we'll find a little hamstring stretch, piriformis stretch. I'm really feeling this in my right glute today, it looks like. Moving into elbow side plank. On your left elbow, knee under knee, open up to a clamshell, and then tap your elbow to the opposite hand. So we hold this mermaid, open, clamshell, tap the elbow to the hand. The breathing here can be a little bit tricky. So as you push away from the floor, exhale, take an inhale, tap, and exhale, release. What we're looking for is a rotation through the torso here. So rather than letting your top hip close forward, drive down into that shin, your bottom shin, your left shin, and let the rotation happen from the upper torso, your thoracic spine. These can start to really burn in the bottom glute. So take it easy. We're going to try to do 8 of those, 7 to 8. Always feel free to do more if you have the energy to do it. And now we're going to do the same. And on our right side, so elbow under shoulder, open up and release. Take a breath in, exhale, open clamshell and twist, release. Once again, we're going to try to do 7 to 8 of these on each side. Resist the urge to let your hip roll back behind you. So really push through and activate your right glute. You want that rotation to happen only from the upper back. The hips stay squared towards your mirror. And exhale, twist. Inhale, release. Exhale. See if we can do a few more of these. And release. And our last one here. And back down to the mat. Advanced variation. Open up to the clamshell. Kick your leg out. Rotate. And release. So either do another set of just the clamshell, or try extending your leg and rotating the upper torso so the elbow touches the hand. This will just challenge the balance a little bit more, but you'll also feel now more work happening in the top hip, almost the same way that your bottom hip is working to elevate you away from your mat. And twist. Take a breath, exhale, push. Inhale, kick. Rotate, open up, toes to touch, and switching sides. So position yourself so that your elbow is right under your shoulder again. Using the bottom glute and the obliques on the underside to really create that lift. Take a breath in, and exhale, push. Inhale, kick, and rotate. The first few are usually testing the balance, so you may have to take a second to find it. Re-engage. Take a breath in, exhale, push. Inhale, kick the leg out. Exhale, rotate from the upper torso. Keep lifting your foot or your heel up into the ceiling as you twist. And then be mindful of your right shoulder, your bottom shoulder, your basing arm, so that you're not collapsing the shoulder joint as you're supporting yourself coming away from the floor. Exhale, push. Open up the clamshell, then kick. Your heel will be a little bit behind you as you do this. If it's too far forward, you won't feel your glute activating, so kick back a little bit. This will challenge your balance, though, because it's going to try to pull you back. And once you finish that last one, we'll come up to standing. I'm going to do some squats here. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms behind you. Think of this like you're skiing. If you've ever used a ski erg, this is exactly the same motion that we're doing. So pinky fingers forward, hands to shoulders, and then ski back. It's okay if you don't have a super deep squat. What we're really looking for is just more speed so that we can get the heart rate up. Your feet can be hip distance apart. And if you lean forward a little bit, that's okay, but still engage your core muscles. We tend to lose them as we do squatting positions. So as you inhale, reach up, exhale, really squeeze the navel in, and then reach your pinky fingers back into the ceiling behind you. It should be sort of like a swinging motion with the arms. We're doing 20 of these here. So just keep breathing. Inhale, reach, and exhale, ski back. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, ski back. Keep your weight in your heels and really grip your toes into the mat. Feel your arches activate and squeeze. Standing position is really powerful. I'm turning to the side here so you can see. We're going to do a double pulse. Inhale and exhale. So we're going into this quarter squat position. We're still doing 20 reps of these. This will go by a little bit faster though. Inhale, arms forward, pulse, exhale, squeeze back. Inhale, arms forward, and exhale, squeeze back. So little quarter pulses. You're not fully coming all the way up. You're going to feel your butt burn. And then you can come up, relax a little bit, bend the knees. We're going to take a twist, your open arm twist. You can plant your right hand down into your mat and just open your left hand to the sky. You can bend your right knee to get more out of it. And then switching sides, the left hand stays grounded. Bend the left knee, twist, look up. And then you can put both hands back down. We're going to step back to a downward dog. Push to the floor. Try to relax your head, dig into your heels, open up the calves. Still pull your lower ribs in towards each other as you shift forward into plank. You could come down onto your knees here. We're going to do a little abduction with the legs. So I'm holding a plank, a modified plank, left knee down, tapping down 10 times like I'm squeezing scissors. So my legs are like scissors here. Toes pointed. Inhale, up, and exhale to the side. You want to try to target your toe towards the outer edge of your mat. That's what I'm doing here. And then switching sides. So extend the left leg and tap over. Coming back up to heel in line with butt. Still push to the floor with your hands. Sometimes we start to lose one or the other. We'll lose the core or the hands when we do these. So just check in. Push to the palms. Squeeze the navel up into the back. And 10. Tap the toes. Oh, these are tough. So we're going to tap the back of the ankle here. This is the extended version. So if this is really challenging for you, go back to on one knee, just like you did in the last set. Still shooting for 10. But if that was really easy, you're going to do this variation. Tap the toe down to the back of the heel. 10 and 9. So still driving through the palms. It gets really challenging here to keep your core engaged. So just keep reminding yourself to squeeze your navel in as you squeeze your glutes together to tap the back of your heel with your big toe. And last one here. Release. Take a child's pose. Just relax. A little bit of work here for the shoulders. You can try rotating your armpits down to the floor to release your lats. When you're ready, you're going to come back to your downward facing dog. So we're going to start doing some lunging positions here to open up the hip flexors and also strengthen the glutes. Step your right foot forward. If you need some help here, you can take your hands and walk them up onto your knee to make this transition easier. Reach your arms forward, and we're going to do a full range, knee almost tapping down to the floor or gently tapping down to the floor. If this is very easy, reach your arms up overhead by your ears. We're going for 10 of these. So as we inhale, we come up. As we exhale, we release down. Try to make it a 1 and 1 count. Drive your heel back. And then we're going to hold this quarter lunge position, so you're hovering. And we're going to do the same open arm twist as before. Inhale, arms together, and exhale, open arms. Try chasing your thumb with your eyes. So you also want your cervical spine to twist as you open up your upper back here. So there's a lot of thoracic opening today. Going for 10 on each side. Your legs should be burning here. Arms forward. We're going to pulse down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep driving down into the front heel, even through the back heel. And release. Oh, that should feel so great. I bet your front glute is on fire, and I bet your left hip flexor and your quad is on fire. So let's release that. Let's lift the heel, slide forward on your knee so that you're not grinding your knee joint into the ground. If you need to, you can grab a towel or roll your mat up. Squeeze your heel in towards your butt. as much as you can. If this is hard, put your foot on the couch behind you. Just let it rest there. The stretch is also called the couch stretch. Little hamstring release here. Just a little rocking back and forth. It shouldn't be too intense of a stretch here on the hamstring, so take it easy. It's loosening up the hip joint. And we're going to tuck the toes back under. Step your right foot back to find plank, and then your downward dog. Your right leg should feel a lot different than your left leg. Stepping the left foot forward. And come on up. So either arms forward, or you can do arms up overhead. Finding that lunge, full range. So challenging the balance here, right? So we're going full range. Find where you can feel it. Maybe it's by squeezing your inner thighs together, or maybe it's by pulling your navel back in, or maybe it's by squeezing your lower ribs together. Probably all of those. Here we go for 10 open arm twists. So the same arm as leg that's forward is the one that will come back behind you. Finding that quarter lunge position. Think of your like tapping points across your chest, your shoulder, and then straight out. Look for your thumb as you twist back. You will feel this on your obliques on the side that you're twisting from. Keep twisting. Exhale, twist. Inhale, arms back together. And then we're going to pulse down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. That quad is probably feeling it. So let's take a little release here in the right quad, heel to butt. If this is deep enough for you, then stay here, or you can find, back your lunge up to the couch, rest your foot there. Try to keep your back straight as you twist. And if that's too much, you can always just put your hand down on your shin or on the floor. If you have a block next to you, that's a really good place to put it too. You can always switch hands too if you'd like to work on squaring the hips, encouraging the right hip forward. And when you're ready, go ahead and give yourself light hamstring release. A little twisting always feels nice. Rocking back and forth. We're going to come into a modified plank position and just a nice lowered push-up down towards the mat. Readjust here so that your feet are as wide as the edges of your mat. Put your hands behind your head. You're going to lift up. Inhale down, exhale, lift. Inhale down, exhale, lift. This is so challenging here to remember to keep pulling your navel into your spine. So gradually just keep checking in as you lift. Once again, squeeze the glutes. Keep pressing the tops of the feet to the floor. And then you're going to release here. Little cobra lifts. So just holding this one. Isometric hold. And take it back. Next, we're going to lift one leg at a time. So like a locust pose. Lifting the right leg. And then the left leg. So we'll inhale, release. Exhale, lift the right. Inhale, release. And exhale, lift the left. That's the cadence we're going for. We're going to do 10 of these on each side. It's okay if your heels aren't touching here. If this is new to you, keep your legs wide just like we did in the last position. Your hands will stay right beside your lower ribs by your chest. And if this is really challenging for you, you can put your forehead on the mat or you can leave your chin on the mat as long as it doesn't bring any pain to the back of your neck. Once again, keep checking and pulling your navel into your spine. That may mean that your hip bones press into the mat and your leg doesn't lift as high, but that's okay. We're really thinking about lifting the entire leg with our glute. Both legs. This is challenging. So if this is difficult for you or you're feeling any pain, go back to doing sets of 1 and 1 on each side. Once again, you can always rest your forehead towards the floor. Now we're beating. We're going to go 10, 9, 8, heels to touch. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release to the floor. Oh, those are so hard. Your butt should be burning. And a little upper back release here. Elbows under for a sphinx. Go ahead and keep your feet wide. Unless that's too easy, you can bring them closer together. And then a little seal pose. Just lift the elbows. This next move is challenging. So put your hands beside your ribs again. Feet stay wide. Bend your knees with your heels touching and your feet flexed. Inhale, exhale, push into the ceiling, and inhale, straighten the legs and release down. Exhale, push and straighten. Heels to touch, release down. We're doing 10 of these. It should feel so difficult to try to lift your feet into the ceiling, but that's okay. We're not looking for a lot of range. What we're looking for is engagement. Keep pressing your navel into your back. So the weight of your pelvis is what's really touching the mat here. Use your hands to support yourself so that you're not smashing your face into the floor. Exhale, push, inhale, straighten. It is so hard here. Think about straightening your legs so much that the back of the skin on your knees could touch the ceiling. Oh, windshield wiper your legs to let that go. And a full cobra pose here to relax. Let it go. If this is too much, go back to the seal pose that we did before. Go ahead, sit yourself back into a child's pose. Oh, that should feel so good, releasing your lower back. I'm going to slide our left knee forward into whatever variation of a pigeon pose works for you. If you can't get your shin parallel to your mat, that's okay. Take your time. And just breathe here. You are all done with the hard work. Now you get to enjoy your stretch. We've just used our glutes so much and opened up our hip flexors by using our glutes. So now is a good time to really release them. And slide it back into that tabletop, and we're going to switch sides. So the right leg will slide forward. It's okay if your heel is not in line with your knee. I know we hear that a lot. Bring your shin parallel to your mat, but that's not always necessary. You can still get a great stretch here with whatever works for your range of motion. Slide the arms forward. If that's too much, you can always grab a block and put that underneath your chest or your forehead. Just relax here. You've done all the hard work. And once you have felt the full benefits of this pigeon pose, walk your hands back, give yourself a push up. We're going to rotate towards the left leg. So just keep that right leg butterflied. Extend your leg out so that your sole of your foot is touching your inseam of your pants, and then you're going to slide forward. So if you can't reach your hands to your foot, that's okay. Grab onto your shin. As much as you can, reach forward until you feel that really intense pulling sensation down your spine into the back of your neck. You'll probably feel it as you relax your head down. And then walk it on up. Now we're going to open up the side body since we did use our obliques a lot. So you're going to take the same elbow as leg that's extended and push it down into the floor or rest it on your leg or your block. A block's a good tool to have here too. If you can't touch your toes today, go for it. If not, then just let the arm hover. Whatever we're doing, we're trying to roll our armpit open. So see that nice half moon crescent? That's what we're looking for. Coming forward into the other side, same thing. So first, belly button to thigh, slide forward. Whatever range works for you here. You can grab the foot if that is accessible. If not, you can always just prop yourself up and rest your forehead in your hands. So breathing here is natural. If you want a little bit more, try flexing your foot. You could pull on your big toe. That'll wake you back up. And then when you've had enough, roll up. Same elbow as leg that's extended. Rest it on the floor, or you can rest it on your thigh and extend the other arm straight out. A nice thing to have here is if you're really working on opening up your side, is you can use a strap to wrap around the leg and hold onto it with your hand. But this works also. And inhale, take it back on up. Last thing here, a nice butterfly stretch. So use your elbows to push your shins down. And if that is comfortable, you can gradually walk your hands a little bit further out. And then And go ahead and crawl your hands back in, back up to seated, and you are all done.